The State Historical Society, the museum collection, has over 80,000 objects, and I get asked a lot, what's my favorite? Usually my favorites turn out to be the ones that I get to dig a little deeper in. And so this is a great example of an object I got to do some more research on and learned a lot more about its ties to North Dakota. A high school history class came through for a tour and they requested to see items in our collection dealing with Prohibition. And we have a few things, and this is probably one of the most interesting items. It's a bottle of beer that was confiscated by a Prohibition agent here in Bismarck in 1930. I think that's super interesting. It was used as evidence for a case against him. The evidence tag is still on the bottle. So I wanted to know more about it. And when we're looking for more information about objects in our collection, the first place we look is in the paper accession file. That file contains the documents for how we got the item, who gave it to us, and any information that the donor sent along with the item. And in this case, there was next to nothing in the file. It was a very, very skinny file. We know we got it from the Burleigh County Court District, and we got it in 1959. And then any other information we knew about this bottle was listed on the label. We know that a Prohibition agent named Leo St. Martin purchased it from a man with the last name Zimmer. No first name was listed, and he purchased it for 45 cents on October 8th, 1930. And that's what we knew. We didn't know Zimmer's first name. We didn't know the outcome of the case. So the first place I went to look was the newspapers. The Bismarck Tribune is digitized and available to the public on Chronicling America through the Library of Congress. So I went and looked at the 1930 newspaper, searching for Zimmer. Nothing. The next thing I did is went and talked to our archivists. They have a lot of local government records, and I thought they might be able to point me in the right direction for more clues to this bottle. And here we are in the archives. After talking to the local government archivist, she let me know that they do have Burleigh County criminal court records in the state archives, but the oldest is 1939. But she did suggest looking in these Burleigh County Clerk of Court District Court journals. And so I had to look in them both, and I found what I was looking for in Journal I. And so I went to the Z's, and there he is, Zimmer, Lance, page 102. So now we have a first name, and that is huge for future research. Defendant. The state's attorney's files information and moves arraignment of defendant on charges of engaging in the liquor traffic. The defendant enters plea of guilty. So now we know what happened to this case. So now that I have a first name, I was able to look up Lance Zimmer in the 1930 census, the 1940 census, and the Bismarck city directories, which are on microfilm here in the state archives. So the 1929 directory lists Lance Zimmer living in Bismarck with his wife Margaret, and he's working as a painter. Using the genealogy resources like Ancestry and the newspapers that are digitized, we were able to find his obit, and it lists his wife and also 7 children. With our digital database, our collections management system, we're able to connect that record for that beer bottle with these records here. So anyone looking at that record in the future will be able to go to archives and find this journal and know exactly what page to go to find the information that we listed. To be able to fill in those gaps is huge. It gives us a more personal story. We were able to tell a big Prohibition national story with this object and a small connection to North Dakota. But now we know who this man was, who was brewing beer at home. We know where he grew up, where he was born, what he did. And so it gives a meatier, richer history to a really interesting object.